Good afternoon. My name is David Jones. I am chair of the Conrad Rheiner Committee at First Unitarian Universalist Society of San Francisco. I am here today with other Rheiner Committee members, and they are Dolores Pérez Heilbron, Rochelle Fortier, Bob Bacon, Mary Jane Mikuriya, and not able to attend today with us were Howard and Jang Oringer and Donald Williams. This gift is for social justice work in the wider community as opposed to within the church. And we've been giving this gift ever since, I believe, 1990 or right around that time. At this point, I would like to introduce Bob Bacon, who will make the presentation.
This award honors the memory of the Reverend Conrad Rheiner, a Universalist minister who spent most of his career in social work, particularly providing support services to allow people living with mental illness to live in the community rather than in institutions. He was a member of this congregation for several decades, and shortly after his death, this award was established to honor other members of the congregation who, like Conrad Rheiner, bring their Unitarian and Universalist values to their work day in and day out in the wider community. It's my great privilege to award the 2021 Rheiner Award for Community Service to Shirley Gibson. Shirley uses her UU values and her skills as a lawyer to advocate for low-income tenants seeking safe and adequate and affordable housing in some of the wealthiest communities in the world. Shirley was born to the difficult life of a white liberal in Mississippi. Her parents are well known in this congregation. Gordon Gibson, a few years before his daughter was born, served a jail sentence in Selma, Alabama, for helping African Americans register to vote. When Shirley was young, Gordon was the minister of the UU Church in Jackson, Mississippi. He was called to that church to replace a minister who had been shot and seriously wounded because of that congregation's advocacy for civil rights. Shirley's mother, Judy, was a healthcare advocate for patients, activist. Shirley was a double outsider in the public schools of Jackson, Mississippi. She was one of very few white children in the public schools. And she was one of an even smaller number of students who were not evangelical Christians. Shirley came to the West Coast to attend Reed College in Oregon, then came to San Francisco intending to pursue a career in healthcare policy. She detoured into law school. She attended the New College of California, so she had a very different law school experience than I did or than most other lawyers did. It was a non-traditional school with non-traditional students where she learned a form of participatory, hands-on, street-level way of practicing law. She took those skills to a shoestring nonprofit called the Eviction Defense Collaborative. Then in 2007, moved her practice to the San Mateo County Legal Aid Society, continuing to practice housing law. She's become a leader and a teacher in that practice specialty. She says she prides herself on a client-centered practice, a collaborative partnership with her clients. The one thing she says she never wants to be is the arrogant know-it-all lawyer. She said it's awe-inspiring to see what it takes to be poor in Silicon Valley and survive, that her clients are vulnerable in so many ways and yet have the courage to stand up against all odds. She says it's a privilege to partner with them, that her legal skills are a tool to help people who deserve not pity but support. At UUSF, she's been the moderator of the Board of Trustees. She's been on the Committee on Ministry. She's been on the Committee on Future Ministry. She's held a great many other volunteer positions. At home, Shirley is married to Tim Pori, who lives the stressful life of a trial lawyer. They have raised 2 children. While Shirley has been working and parenting, she has also for many years struggled with serious illness. She's outlived at least one estimate of a very short life expectancy. More than most of the rest of us, she's had to confront the question, if you only had a short time to live, what would you do with the time remaining to you? And her answer wasn't about travel, it wasn't about hobbies. It was about representing low-income tenants and advocating for safe and affordable housing, doing the same thing that she has been doing for all of her professional career. Elie Wiesel said our lives belong to those people who need us the most desperately. It's a great privilege to confer the 2021 Rheiner Award for Community Service on my colleague and my friend Shirley Gibson.
This chalice it is an honor to present this chalice to our recipient, Shirley Gibson. And it says, Shirley E. Gibson, FUUSF Rheiner Award 2021. Shirley.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Bob. I'm so honored to join an inspiring group of San Francisco Unitarian Universalists who have blazed many trails in social justice work. It is indeed a formidable group. I'm fortunate to have been raised in our faith with friends and mentors who model living by our UU principles. You are all to blame for my troublemaking. It's not a coincidence that I would be drawn to the field of housing justice, where we see economic inequity, racism, and the failure of capitalist structures that are agnostic to basic human needs. It is precisely this type of work to which UUs are finding their calling. My faith and its principles not only give me lenses to see when human beings do not have the security of stable and safe housing, it is a fracture in our interdependent web. But beyond this gift of vision, my faith also gives me the audacity to think that I can do something about it. There's a lot of audacity in our congregations and among my UU heroes. Sometimes in our audacious undertakings, we do get it wrong. I know I've made mistakes in my work. I've failed to check my privilege. I've gotten ahead of the grassroots activists that I work with and the processes where I think I know what is right. That's hard for lawyers because we're trained to be right. I love that my church and our denomination will grapple with getting things wrong and challenge ourselves to do better. That we have the humility to continue to examine our assumptions and our patterns in search for truth and meaning, and push ourselves to evolve and to do better and to continue doing the work. That humility has been an important ballast in my role as an advocate. Nothing good I have done in my work as a housing attorney would have been possible without the grounding of those UU values, the nurturing of this community, and the gifts of audacity and humility from our chosen faith. Thank you for walking this journey with me and for continuing to do hard work in our community to move us towards social justice.